Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. Limone ball once again in full action. Limoncello ball in his full majestic beauty. 4-0 Inter. What a performance, man. What a performance. I didn't even do a preview for this match because I didn't feel like there was, I was busy doing some other stuff, but I didn't feel like I needed it. Inzaghi, this team under Inzaghi against these smaller teams, I just have full confidence, and these guys just keep proving us right. These guys are just the real deal under Inzaghi, especially against these smaller teams. And how good was that performance, guys? How good was that performance, guys? Come on, tell me in the comments how good was that. I want to see who's in the house today. I know it's just Cagliari, but let's enjoy these types of wins because is it just not enjoyable to support a team like Inter who usually give us so much pain, but actually, now give us joy to watch. Like, this is just beautiful to watch. And it usually in our history is not usually Inter, not usually a great team to watch, even when we have been a great team, but we're not usually a great team to watch. But under Inzaghi, we're a great team to watch, man. We're a great team to watch. And yeah, as Benjamin here says, a imperious display. I love that. That's the perfect way to describe it. Imperious, because there was no chance for Cagliari. You know how some of these teams sometimes come to the San Siro, play the match of their lives, and maybe they can feel like they can sneak a little win. Oh, we can, Pavoletti on the counter attack. Oh, João Pedro on the counter attack. Maybe they can get something. Nah, mate. You're not getting anything. You're not leaving with anything. We're not even giving you a crumb to leave with. The only guy who's leaving with some sort of self-respect is Cranio, the goalkeeper. Who actually, I feel bad for Cranio. The poor guy was absolutely pelted with shots all match. I think his saves went into double figures. I'm just going to double check actually. But yeah, it's fair play to Cranio. It could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for Alessio Cranio, who actually had a bit of a dip in form this season. But it's not really his fault. I mean, that this Cagliari team, anyone could have a dip. It's such a bad Cagliari team, and yeah, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. Cazzarri, our former coach, just does not look like the guy. And yeah, most importantly, Chandra, salutate la capolista. Overtake mission complete. Overtake is done. We have gone above Napoli. Already went above Napoli, but now we've gone above AC Milan, our cousins, thanks to the favor from Udinese yesterday. Betuncal coming through with another goal. The guys taking Serie A by storm this season. And Napoli losing away at home or away to Empoli. And Cutrone is scoring one of the weirdest goals you'll see this season. He had no clue how he scored that or how it even went in, but 1-0 Empoli. So all Inter needed today was the 3 points to take back control for the first time this season, back in control of the top. And let's see how long we can maintain it. But I had to rename the stream in favor. Sorry, in honor of the F1, where Max Verstappen, I don't follow F1 by the way, but I know that Max Verstappen today won the F1 championship ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who was ahead for most of the season and won most of the races, I believe, right? And then but like us today, we're just coming through, room, baby, coming through and getting that first spot now. And let's see how long we can hold it on for. As I always said, I don't really care about this winter scudetto, as they call it in Italy, and they make a big deal out of it in Italy for some reason. This no one else really does it, or in other countries, as far as I know, this scudetto d'inverno. But yeah, it looks like it could be ours this season. But again, I don't care who has the winter scudetto, as long as you have the scudetto at the end of the season. That's the one that matters. But yeah, let me get some of your comments in first. Of course, Keston here, I know he's a big Alexis Sanchez fan. 1 goal, 1 assist. What a return for El Niño Maravilla to the starting lineup. And I was expecting some good stuff from him. I posted, if you check out on YouTube, on your homepage, sometimes I do post things, even if I don't do a preview. I posted something saying, Milan 1-1. Alexis Sanchez looks rumored to be starting, and I'm expecting at least an assist from him. And this guy came through with an assist, but also a goal. And in general, as Keston says, great link up and everything. Steffers, of course, Forza Inter. It's great to be in first place again, Keston. Yes, sir. Benjamin, once again, he agrees with Sanchez, man of the match. We'll talk about that in a minute. Eduardo says Anthony predicted a scoreline in his podcast. Fair play to Anto, Inter Worldwide. Hopefully, he should be doing his own reaction. If not, maybe later, but make sure you guys check it out. If I was going to do a prediction, I was probably going to go for like a 2-0 or 3-0. So, yeah, definitely would have got it wrong anyway. Many things to celebrate today. Chanda says scoring 4 goals, clean sheet or a brace. Another one for Hakan. Hey, we'll get into Hakan. Don't worry, we'll get into Hakan. But yes, Julian, ese ne va, la capulista se ne va. It's no, we're not gonna start it yet. I mean, it's a little bit too soon to start the singing, but it's getting there. We're getting there. I don't want to see any of the players singing any of this rubbish, but you know, we can, us fans, we can sing it. Of course, we can sing it. It's that time. Future Hendrick says he's speechless. Wow, you know that's also a good way to put it. I mean, um how into play today, it could leave you speechless. Especially imagine watching that live. That would have been absolutely beautiful. Future Hendricks also says Inzaghi make me a baby, a mini limone. Interesting. The love for Inzaghi, I love it. More song singing in the comments as well. I like it. And Ahmad, yes, my brother, he has been on the Hakan agenda from day one. Hakan FC is worldwide. Now he's taking his money, investing it in Dumfries Stonks. He was man of the match for me. Bro, I have to give you credit. You know, even I know I've been protecting Hakan, and I've also said that, you know, I felt like he's played better than some people made out at the beginning. But I can't even claim to be, you know, you were definitely Ahmed, you were the guy, you know, you were the founder of the Hakan FC club for sure. And I'm just one of the, original members, but I'm not gonna take any credit. But it's so good to see Hakan. And how good was Hakan's goal, man, today? How good was that? I mean, everyone knew it's one of those goals. It's like surely Kylie, you know he's gonna cut inside. He's not gonna shoot with his left foot. You know he's gonna cut inside, and he cut inside. But what a goal, what a strike. Even Cranio today, who was, in peak Manuel Neuer form, couldn't stop that one. And also Hakan today, goal and an assist. Not just that, not just the goal. He was all over the place. Harry, you have no worry, bro. He's at Legoland with the kids. Nice. That's an interesting little trip for you there. Marotta needs to start. Come on, guys. It, goalkeepers against Inter, there's always and I mean a lot of the saves today were, I mean, the one against 1v1 against Sanchez he made coming out really quickly. That was probably the best of the lot, but mostly, most of the shots were quite savable today from Cranio. I wouldn't say any of them were particularly miracles. He just had to do a lot. But yeah, Cranio did, like, as I said, I used to really like him, Cranio, and he is really impressive, but he's had and he can't blame himself for a dip in that type of team. But I've always said, like, his height is just not. I know, Casillas wasn't the great, a tall keeper, but you can't use, one of the greatest goalkeepers as the example. But I do like Cranio. As I said, if it was like a short-term option, like if you could get in Cranio for a season or two, like that would be my guy, like a cheap potential alternative. But yeah, I mean, now we've got someone like Onana coming in, so there's no need for someone like Cranio. Let's see who Sofa Score gave the man of the match to. Also, I look at your comments. We are balling, and Razuri NL in the house. Yeah, we literally could have been 8-0. It could have been 8-0. And yes, Julian, the comment that I've made down below, this was literally Dalbert's best contribution to Inter, not even since he's left Inter, in general, his whole Inter career. This was Dalbert's best performance for Inter. I mean, he was absolutely diabolical for them. Stray passes, bad controls, and then, of course, the mistake that first led to Denzel's winning the penalty. Shouts out to Denzel. Well, he also made another mistake that almost led to a goal. He was just bad, and then was moved on to like a left mid in the second half as well, and he was just as bad there. Let's see what Sofa Score gave Dalbert. 6.1. I think that's quite that's quite generous. He was awful, Dalbert, and I'm so glad that he's not anywhere near. Well, he's still kind of involved with Inter because we're still technically under contract with Inter. He's only on loan to Cagliari, but my God, that guy is diabolically bad. Chala, of course, Ahmed Chala. What a guy. needed the calculator to find how many points Juve are behind us. I like it. I like it, man. Hey, how good is it, guys, to be? I watch other YouTubers this channel, like not just Inter guys, of course, Inter Worldwide and them man there, but Juve guys. I have a friend called G Just Juve. He's a big Juve YouTuber, 15K subscribers. And I go on his channel these days, and it's just so painful. Like I enjoy watching him, in pain. But it's like yesterday, I watched his stream, and struggling against Venezia when we, shoved Venezia aside. It's just, it's nice. It's a nice time. Like got to put things into perspective. Those guys have had it nice for a long, long time. They had it nice for 9 years. Now it's our time to enjoy some niceness. So always got to put things into perspective. Always got to put things into perspective. Of course, crickets to the Hakan and Dumfries slander, and yes, that's another guy who needs to be praised today. Dumfries, I know. Once again, as I said, Dalbert on the other side, Dumfries versus Dalbert, and yeah, there was people I've seen comments in the past, on Facebook and on Twitter, people claiming that Dumfries was going to be the new Dalbert. I think today you saw levels. Yes, maybe Dumfries doesn't look great in some matches, but he's levels above Dalbert. Don't compare Dumfries to Dalbert. And today he proved Dumfries today. I really liked his link up with everyone. Like you can see now, Barella starting to trust him, Skriniar starting to trust him. Sanchez is starting to link up. Just how Sanchez was linking up with the Hakimi, like one of those threaded balls that Sanchez likes to do through the right wing back, like he did with Hakimi today. Like he used to do with Hakimi. He did it today with Dumfries, and Dumfries almost scored. Dumfries should have had an assist, to be honest. Should have had a goal as well, maybe. But I like the positive steps that I'm seeing from Dumfries, and also got to clarify. We talked about it, and we this is what I always say. Like we can criticize Inzaghi for substitutions, but against Real Madrid, I pointed out like, oh, why did he take Dumfries off? But now we find out that Dumfries actually had a little injury or a little pain against Real Madrid at halftime, which is why he was taken off. So you see these things that at the time we're like, oh, Inzaghi, why are you doing this? Oh, Inzaghi, why are you doing that? But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Sometimes there's things that are going on and that, we don't know about. And it's always easy to criticize the guy after when you don't get the result. Like, oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that I clarified that, because I did also criticize Inzaghi for that. But in the end, clearly there was an issue with Dumfries, who himself confirmed it, and he said that he's feeling much better now. Sharif, exactly, bro. I feel like no more pazza Inter against a small team. These were the type of matches where you'd feel, you could be 1-0 for ages, or even remember again, even with Conte last year, this exact game, we needed Matty Doms to turn up in, like, what was it, the 85th minute or the 83rd minute to come up with a late goal. Because we couldn't break the team down. And I know it's completely different circumstances, all that kind of stuff, but still, these are similar type of matches that in the past, on the Spalletti and the Mazzarri, we would see Inter just kind of crumble, even though the team is much more superior to these teams. But we've seen more Pazza Inter, I think, in the bigger matches this under Inzaghi for now. But against the smaller teams, as I'm saying, I am really confident going into the smaller matches with this Inzaghi team. Yeah, exactly. Great performance from Dumfries. Barella red against Madrid seems to have woken him up. Yeah, Barella today, back Matteo, as you said. Again, we're not gonna, with all these performances, we gotta take it with a pinch of salt, because this is after Salernitana. I think this is I know that's what the table says as well, but on, like, when you look at them as well, this is the second worst team in the whole league. So every performance you got to take it with a pinch of salt. That maybe you shouldn't exaggerate it, but at the end of the day, we saw the real Barella today. 2 assists, and now he's top of the leaderboard once again of Serie A. 7 assists in total in the league, so he's back on top. The Kings are back on top, and Barella King is back on top. And yeah, maybe that red card, sometimes you just need it's a little something to just wake you up. It's a little bit of criticism, probably just self-criticism, where this guy's kind of guaranteed his place in the team, and sometimes you just need a little wake-up call, and that's what it is. And yeah, even that this was a comfortable win when even Satriano and then even Zanotti, full debut for Zanotti, the wing back coming on for would he come on Perisic, didn't he? Yeah, so really good to see. And yeah, there was three Inter Primavera players out there on the pitch at one point. So there was Di Marco on, Satriano, and Zanotti. So this that is good to see. That is good to see. What's up, Maninom? Sere Lautaro needs to change his. Yeah, man. Well, we can get into it. I mean, there's not many negatives to take from today, but the only negative really, and it's not Lautaro him per se, but it's Lautaro's penalty taking. And yeah, the guy, I've talked about it in the past. I just don't think he's got the best technique. It's just he always seems to go for the same spot as Maninom here says, like that bottom left one over to the keeper's right, which Cranio read easily. But also it's not even just that. It was not even angled. This guy tries to smash it, but he tries to smash it, but I think he tries so hard that it goes into the ground and it ends up being it's not even particularly powerful. Probably some of you guys could have saved that, and I probably maybe could have saved that because especially if I know that Lautaro's going that side, I just put my tall body on the way. But it's just I don't. I think Lautaro might need to be taken off penalties. I know. So the way that they've decided for now, the penalty situation is that Inzaghi's confirmed and Hakan confirmed this as well, that they kind of it's Hakan, Lautaro, and Perisic are the three main penalty takers, and they say that whoever in that moment feels like taking it is going to take it. I don't honestly, I'm not a big fan of it. We talked about it on the channel, when my boy Dave was on Forza into Haiti. We've talked about it in the past. Like you need a proper, like you need that designated penalty taker. Like I think that is a thing, and that is a thing for a reason. But it's I don't like this. Like now that he's missed it, I think it should. I think now the priority should be given to Hakan, who's like I think Hakan has proven for now anyway this season to be the best penalty taker, hasn't he? So I think Hakan should be really the penalty taker, and then Perisic has always proven to be quite ice cold. And in general, I just prefer. I mean, Hakan as well. He's got that kind of penalty where he just kind of smacks it as well. But yeah, with Lautaro is tricky because now as we say, this season he's supposed to be the main guy. He's supposed to be stepping up. He's got the big boy contract, but surely there's got to be a point where you're like, nah, Lautaro, bro, take a back seat with these penalties, or just take some time to like do something different with these penalties. Like I don't know, like he needs to try something different. Like everyone knows exactly what Lautaro's gonna do on the penalties, so he needs to practice them more or try something different. Just take some time off and let Perisic and maybe Hakan kind of alternate on these. But of course, you got to always give fair play to the guy who's always willing to step up, take the risk, have the cojones to do it. But at some point, someone's got to make the decision, whether that's Inzaghi, whether that's Handanovic as the captain, or someone's just got to have a word with him and say, okay, yes, you're the main guy, but when it comes to penalty taking, even Zlatan had to do it at Milan. Zlatan, great penalty take over his career, but he saw in Milan he was missing a few. Kessie is better than him at taking penalties, and he had to relinquish the penalties to Kessie. Even the guy with the ego as big as Zlatan had to do that. So at some point you gotta do it. Julian says the whole team gets a 10 from him today. Yeah, it's one of those matches. There's no negatives to take. As I said, apart from that Lautaro little penalty thing, there's no one played badly. It was just complete domination. Great performance from everyone. Champagne football. I can taste the stars. Hey, I love it, Tommy. Tasting the stars. And yeah, tomorrow, of course, gotta we go. Speaking of the stars, the Champions League stars, the champions. We find out who our round of 16 opponent is tomorrow. So make sure you guys keep an eye out. I'll see how I'm able to do. Probably I'll try to do a quick reaction afterwards. But yeah, make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. That's gonna be interesting. Limoncello-ball is joyful to watch. LeFlo says also to love the atmosphere. Yeah, gotta give a shout out to the guy at the Giuseppe Meazza because it's not a big match today, but the performance from the fans today was also top notch. Like I was just listening to the songs. There was lots of songs being sung and chants. It was really good. For a match like this, it's really good to see that the crowd is still active and still very in terms of coming there in numbers as well for a match like this, but also being very vocal. Yeah, Cragno was amazing. Definitely there, man of the match. What's up, Adriano Imperatore? As we said, Napoli Milan will struggle. Yeah, bro. We literally, like, if you were on this channel a few weeks ago, like I said, don't panic, guys. When Napoli and Milan were both on 31 points and unbeaten, I said the the way these guys are playing at the moment, there's no way that they can keep that up, because that was record breaking from them, like literally record breaking in like the whole Serie A of the history of Serie A. What those two teams are doing at that time, being got a hair in my mouth there, being unbeaten, having 31 points. There was like any other season, Inter would have been like maybe one or two behind those teams, but we would find ourselves 7 points because them two teams were definitely overachieving. And now, as I kept saying, it was like they're going to revert to the mean, and now they're reverting to the mean. Now they're also getting injury issues, and we'll see how long these this kind of bad period for them, because they're definitely going through a bad period, both of those teams. So this is what I was saying a few weeks ago, and it's happening, and it's not. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking that I was saying, but I think people were just so taken by how good those two teams were performing that they were kind of forgetting that, they're not going to be able to keep that up for the whole season. And it's normal. This is not even, and I don't even want to exaggerate the bad period now, because that's normal. Like we went through, a bit of an up and down period at the beginning. These guys are not machines. These footballers are gonna have moments of down form. Coaches are gonna have moments where they get decisions wrong and tactics wrong. So, in a season of 38 games, it's gonna happen. So that's why just always, keep calm, even if things aren't looking great. The season is very long, and now that we're at the top, also got to keep calm. Doesn't mean that now we're gonna walk the league. Doesn't mean that the other teams are not going to be there. Milan now are out of Europe as we were last season. So Milan still have that teeny tiny bit of advantage, even though it's only a few percent, but those few percent can add up at the end of the season. So definitely not, you can't count out Milan and you can't count out Napoli. Although with Napoli, I've been saying for a few weeks, like Osimhen out for a few months, Anguissa out, Koulibaly out, and then the AFCON as well for them affects them a lot. And I don't think, it depends how long, Mertens can keep up and stay fit as well. But I just feel like, Milan are going to be, and let's not forget Atalanta. Atalanta are definitely going to be in the running as well. But let's see for how long. Campioni d'Inverno incoming. King Darian in the house. Yeah, I heard the BT Sport commentator roasting Dalbert, and quite rightly, man. He deserves it. He deserves some roasting today. Seeing Juve and Milan fans so sad, upset brings me so much joy. Exactly, Nick Knox. I mean, I like some of them because some of them are actually my friends. So I'm never going to be happy about seeing a friend sad. But at the end of the day, they're sad about their football team, which is not the end of the world. So give me your tears, and I'll lead them. Sharma stream to top of a clinical finish, and I'm here for it. What's up, Bilal, bro? How good was Cranio? Yeah, Cranio definitely. He's good. Was really good. Think Onana is the right move, or should Inter be trying for Cranio? No, as I said, Onana, Cranio for me is a different level. But I always said, like I said, Cranio definitely. If you're able to use that, I mean, that Cagliari good relationship was always a false image, because it never really seems to work out. This good relationship we have with Cagliari, but yeah, if you're able to get someone like Cranio on some good basis for a short term, but now that we've got Onana, it doesn't matter. But I was saying this before we got Onana. Onana's definitely the better buy, and he's free as well, and he's I think he's just at the higher level. Don't know if I've ever seen Alexis put in quite a shift like today, whole 90 minutes without a drop in intensity. No, I think this is Alexis, the guys. I think this is what, even under Conte, like this is the thing that makes it so hard for me to, like, when we make predicted lineups, as I'll always keep saying, when Lautaro and Dzeko are fully fit or they're rested, they're just the two starting strikers. But I don't know if that is actually the best partnership. And today, we saw, like, I used to like the Lautaro Alexis partnership even under Conte, when like Lukaku, the few times that Conte wouldn't start Lukaku, or the few times Lukaku was injured. I like the Alexis Lautaro partnership, those kind of two false nine or two midget number nines, a lot more movement, a lot more unpredictability, and I feel like they kind of connect quite well, those two. And yeah, I think Alexis is putting a big stake in terms of being that guy, even maybe ahead of Tuco Correa when Tuco Correa comes back. Because Alexis is still one of probably top 5 in terms of the Serie A. Technically, this guy is still probably top 5. The problem with Alexis, we know, is the injuries, is the can you rely on him? Similar, not to the level of Sensi, but similar, where you're like, if you start Alexis, you're not sure that he can last the full 90 minutes, or you're sure that he can, gonna get injured, or if he goes, you start him or you play him for 2 or 3 weeks, and the international break comes in, and this guy goes missing. Speaking of Napoli talk in the house. Dom, what's up, bro? Unlucky on your loss against Empoli. But yeah, hopefully you guys start recovering soon, but not too soon. Yeah, if as long as you guys keep a nice distance. But I hope you guys finish top four. I've predicted Napoli to finish top four because of Spalletti and the squad. So I hope you guys do finish in the top four. I like, yeah, Zanotti looked nice. He looked nice, but I haven't really, really watched much of Primavera over the last year or so. But yeah, keep an eye on him for sure. And wing back is a position that we wouldn't mind having a bit of extra covering. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on Zanotti. I like what I saw. Cloud Shine says, if Inter put away the chances they create, my goodness, yeah, exactly. I mean, even Lautaro today, he could probably have had a hat trick today, Lautaro, if he put away the chances. But yeah, Inter in general today, it could have been really embarrassing. Let Alexis Sanchez keep running with the starts. He could be our true first team attack. Yeah, definitely. I think, as I said, from what I've seen this Inter this year, I think we've played our best football with either Correa or Sanchez in the starting 11. I know myself that Lautaro and Dzeko are our best strikers on paper, but I don't know if that's our best partnership, and I don't know if Inter play the best football with those two on the pitch. I think Inter play the best football this season with a 3-5-1-1 kind of, where there is either Sanchez or Correa roaming in behind the main striker. And I think that also helps Hakan in general, the midfield in general, to have that little bit more of a connection in there. But I guess we'll find out as the season goes on. But for me right now, that's what I'm leaning to. I think one of Lautaro and Dzeko has to sit out, I think, in our best formation. Hoping to increase the lead at the top next Friday. Yeah, next Friday has to be another three points, like no questions asked. Salernitana are the worst team in the league for sure. Barella off the charts. You learn more from mistakes than you do from success, even more for someone with Barella's personality. Yeah, I had no doubts on Barella recovering again. I mean, I thought he could have been arrested today, but I also said at the same time that this is Cagliari, and against Cagliari, his old team, he usually does turn up, and he did turn up today. He definitely was up there for man of the match, wasn't he? Razor Vorian says this team is such an eye candy to watch. Exactly, bro. It's just, I'd really look forward to watching into the season. Like, even if I miss matches, I make sure to like tune in to watch all of the matches. Even last season under Conte, I've missed not many. I don't miss many Inter matches at all. Like if I really doing something that I can't miss, then I'll miss the match. But usually I try to watch every single Inter match. But under Conte last year, I remember sometimes feeling like I'm not sure if I want to watch this, or even if I've missed the match, that I'll rewatch it just because I want to talk about it with you guys to watch, to analyze it and stuff. But this year, just for my actual own entertainment, I want to watch every match, and if I missed an Inter match, I'm gonna really find the replay of it for sure to watch it again. Milan Halloween champions 2021. I like that. Another imaginary trophy for Milanisti to take home. Yeah, bro. La Caca, that's one thing that I don't care what you say about Lukaku, but the one thing you can't diss the guy on is penalty taking. You can call him penalty merchant, whatever, but 100% record at Inter when it came to penalties. And I already said as soon as he left, it was like, that's the one thing I'm kind of already doubtful about. As soon as he left, I said, Lautaro has to step up. I'm not sure if he can. And yeah, this season is kind of proving me right in terms of that. And yes, I'm definitely, if you follow me on Twitter, you're definitely going to see the nutmeg from Bastoni, which was beautiful. And yeah, let's talk about the other guys as well, like not just the strikers today, and of course Barella, Hakan, but Brozovic, once again, complete domination. I mean, it's nothing new, is it? It's nothing new. Let's have a look actually of Brozovic's stats. He got a 7.4. Even he got some rest today. 112 touches by Brozovic, 95% passing accuracy, 4 out of 6 long balls completed, 2 out of 2 dribbles completed. Even had a nice shot on the volley, which he almost scored. 5 out of 7 ground duels won. Fouled twice, like just complete performance. Yeah, SofaScore gave Barella man of the match, which I think he probably does deserve. I think for me, it has to be between Barella, Hakan, and Lautaro, or even Alexis, man. It's so hard to pick today, actually. But yeah, Barella 2 assists and total performance. So I guess I agree with Barella. Who else? Let's have a look. Hakan, he got 8.6, 90 touches from Hakan, 90% accuracy, 3 key passes, an assist, of course, a goal, of course. 7 out of 8 long balls, 3 out of 9 crosses, 2 out of 2 dribbles. Like one other just complete performance. Like what can you say? Let's have a look at Dumfries. Actually, Dumfries' stats: 79% accuracy, but it doesn't matter too much for the wing backs. There's always, you have more riskier passes. Oh, they gave him one big chance missed. That's quite harsh. I feel like it wasn't really a big chance missed, though. But I guess maybe you could give that. Only lost the ball 8 times. But yeah, in general, I was impressed with Dumfries today. Perisic got the lowest rating, and I agree. Actually, Perisic was probably one of the. I'm definitely not going to use the word disappointing today to describe any of the players, but he was a little bit, subdued today, Perisic, by his own high standards for sure. Future Henrik says every player keeps switching his placement every time. Yeah, today was, usually this Inzaghi team, it doesn't really, it doesn't hog the ball or control possession like this that often. But today they really did. Like today, it was just complete domination. They wanted to just strangle Cagliari from minute one. Like they didn't want Cagliari to have the ball even for 1 minute. And yeah, everyone just keeps swapping positions. Bastoni goes left wing back, sometimes even goes strike, and then Hakan drops back in. Perisic, sometimes you see him as centre back, and then Brozovic is up there, and like Dumfries is strike, and then Sanchez is there. Like it's beautiful rotation. It's like a perfect clock, but as we call it on this channel, Limoncello-ball. Man, imagine where we'd be if we beat the bigger teams earlier in the season. Yeah, but that's also part of the growing process. As someone said, in terms of Barella, you learn more from mistakes than maybe from success. We probably needed. Sometimes you need like when we lost to Milan in the derby last season, the beginning of last season. You probably needed that, like a little wake up call, like wake up. We probably needed again Real Madrid. That was like a wake up call. That's what I called it when in the post match reaction. We were going in with all that confidence from the last few weeks of killing teams in Serie A, but then that when you get to that level of Real Madrid, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe we're not quite there. So it's good that wake up call, kicked in, and you just got to make sure that the wake up call you use it in the right way and elevate your performance like we did today. Bruno Di Pasquale says, how are we feeling after watching top drawer champagne football, bro? We are feeling magnificent. How large of a point lead do you think we'll have over second by the end of the season? I don't know. I think it's going to be a close. I don't think we're going to walk the Liga we did last year. What was it, like 9 points last season? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be much closer, like 3 or 4 points, something like that. Because I feel like Milan and Atalanta and Napoli will kind of be there and not really drop off. Because you've seen already the gap between the top 4 and the rest is already creating. Like before there was top 5 and it was creating, but now like everyone else kind of dropped off, and there was like from after Atalanta, everyone's like there's a point gap, and I think that is those are the 4 best teams in Italy this season. I think that's how it's going to remain until the second half of the season. I think it's still going to be quite an open race, but I think Inter, now that they're in control, my feeling is that maybe we'll let go first spot here and there, maybe, but I think in general, I think Inter now will be retaining and proving to be the best team in the league, in my opinion. We were pressing with 3 men in the 80th minute. Yeah, I saw there was one point there was like 4 guys on one guy. Like, I felt bad for Cagliari. Like the guy, they couldn't do anything. 4 guys. We also broke a record. Yeah, I saw this before the match. Thank you for bringing it up, Razor Orient. Broke a record that hasn't been beaten since 1950 for Inter. We scored 99 goals in a calendar year and have still 2 games left to play. Amazing stats. Napoli talk coming back in. Napoli is only dropping points because of injury. This isn't our normal. Yeah, no. You guys have been hit very hard by injuries for sure. I'm not gonna, definitely not gonna argue on that one. Spalletti's been hit hard by those injuries for sure. Very unlucky. Yeah, great points, Rami. Thank you for mentioning that. De Vrij slotting in like he never left. I mean, he's not like he went for long. He's only been out for like a month or so, but came in like he never left. You know, could you even tell that this guy was out injured? I couldn't tell. Amazing, amazing. And this is the depth of this team, having a guy like Stefan de Vrij coming in. And this, this is our starting back three, and we've done fine, completely fine with D'Ambrosio, Ranocchia coming in, but this is the starting back three, and they don't even let you have a sniff. Nick Snow says Atalanta are officially our biggest threat. I think with Atalanta, they're still, because they're still in Europe, and they're still with Atalanta. I don't know how consistent they are. They can go on runs like this in the league, especially. But at the end of the day, I don't know if man by man they're superior to Milan or Napoli. When I'm talking about when they're fully fit teams, I know that Atalanta beat Napoli the other day, but as I said, Napoli completely injury hit. But definitely you can't count out Atalanta because they improved themselves this summer. I know maybe losing Romero for Demiral, you could say, is maybe a little bit of a downgrade there. But everywhere else, Musso coming in, they spend big money on upgrading on Golini, keeping players as well, like keeping the likes of Malinowski, Zapata, Muriel, like all those, and Koopmine is coming in, is a very underrated signing from them. Toyin Koopmine is coming in, who scored today. So I would say they're actually an improved team from last year, Atalanta. It's just with them, it's just they're a very unpredictable team, as you saw against they getting smashed at home by Villarreal. Like you can just never really predict how Atalanta are going to do in the match, just because their style of play, the Gasperini style of play is great to watch, but is a bit kamikaze at times, especially in Europe, as we saw this year. And of course, yeah, every week praying and hoping that Brozovic renews his contract. Najib says, yeah, exactly. This was what I was alluding to. Staying humble and doing our thing. Just don't look too much what the other teams are doing. Don't look too much what the other Milan or Juventini or whoever's saying who's saying what. Focus on what we're doing, like we did last year, and as long as we take of what we need to do, the results are going to follow, and the Scudetto is going to follow. Best goal was Chala, to be honest. Knew from his run he was going to score, give him space, and he does magically. Yeah, but I disagree. I think today the best goal was Barella to Sanchez, because that was just beautiful. It was that Barella lifting it up for himself and doing it over his head, which was, I guess, of like a blind ball, but at the same time, beautiful ball. And then Sanchez, in that position, many players would just smack it, get it over or miss the ball. But no, Sanchez perfectly hit it on the volley in the corner. No chance for Cranio. For me, just the technical ability of that goal that makes the best goal. But of course, Chala's goal on a visual scale, cutting in, getting on the right foot and then smacking it top right corner is definitely the most visually stunning goal. But for me, on a technical level, I really like the Barella to Alexis goal. We need to stop Alexis from getting on the plane going to South America. Yeah, I mean, the guy just needs to either retire from, Chilean international duty, or yeah, just make up some sort of injury every time before he goes. Because yeah, the guy is so useful still. Like we know, um, if I get up his, goal assist ratio per 90 is still really, really good. And it was last season, and it was the season before, even when he was injured a lot in the first season on the Conte. Like the guy is still a real top class player, Sanchez. But it's just, imagine if we had Sanchez, when he was 26, 27, like we would be one of unstoppable with that Sanchez, with peak Sanchez. Brozovic really new in January. Small details are missing. Yeah, and we know it looks like all the things are moving towards the Brozovic renew. And I always said, with Brozovic, I wasn't never really concerned, because if Brozovic really wanted to move, he would have a proper agent. He wouldn't have his dad as his agent. So that always told me that Brozovic wants to stay. But yeah, we'll see how it moves on with Perisic, who also apparently has opened the door to possibly staying now, which is really, really good news. But we'll see if they manage to come to an agreement with that. Amedeo says Atalanta is the true foe, and I don't blame you for thinking that. I still think I'm still leaning towards Milan and Napoli, but you gotta watch for Atalanta, man. You have to watch for Atalanta. They are sneaky, and people weren't noticing them until last week. We were like, oh, right, they're just right there. Like if we lose one and they win, they're on the same points as us. That's how close they are to us. So yes, definitely have to watch out for Atalanta. Bastoni is at his peak now, even better than last year, although a bit shaky at the start of the season. Yeah, he definitely was shaky at the start of the season. And we talked about it. We were like, is it, complacency? Is it, just a bit overconfidence? But, young players can go through that, um, through those periods. And now, yeah, probably you could say is even better because now his attacking side is being showcased even more in this Inzaghi system. Future Henry says Atlanta don't have the DNA to win, but at one point, guys, these are some of these like football cliches that I also say, but at some point you're gonna break the cliche. Like you could say that Inter, we went through 10 years of not winning the Scudetto, or 9 years, whatever we went through not winning the Scudetto. You could say we don't have a winning DNA in the team. It happened, you win the Scudetto at one point. Leicester, they didn't have a winning DNA. Like at some point, you're gonna break the DNA, like whatever you call that, this DNA. I think people can get really bogged down in these things. Like people like always call this purely that purely has this high, and then his teams crumble. But he gotta always look like who was he managing at those times? What type of squads did he have? And what he's doing with Milan is a bit different now. Like I wouldn't say that his Milan team collapsed last year. I think that's the true level. If anything, I would say they were overachieving. I just think going back to the real level isn't collapsing. It's just what they initially were doing was overachieving. Like what he's doing with that squad, I still think he's doing a really, really good job. But I think some of these football cliches sometimes a little bit overused. I think starting to see rival fans complaining that our squad is way better and that winning Scudetto this year won't even be an achievement. Oh yeah, some of the ones I'll need to pull out, like some of these fans probably the same fans that were putting us, finishing outside the top four after we sold Hakimi and Lukaku and Conte left. Like, some people really, really, really underestimated this Inter squad. Like, these guys thought that, we sold the whole team or something, like that were literally, Lukaku was doing everything or something. But I think people are realizing that, the squad has been built very well. And Inzaghi is a very good coach as well. Let's not forget. Do you think us getting first so early will put more pressure on us and we can handle it and keep the lead? Yeah, this is a champion team. I know I just talked about football cliches, and this is a football cliche. This is a champion. They have a winning mentality, but that is true now, though. We had the winning mentality from last season. Once we went into the fifth gear, once we went into first place, we were in first place for a long time last year. After we went first, was it February time or something? Or yes, January time. After that, phew. So yeah, it's earlier than last year, but it makes no difference. There's definitely that pressure of being you have to every match. Then now you have to perform to make sure you don't drop down. But I think this team can handle that type of pressure, and I think they'll prove it. Sanchez contract extension now. That's a tricky topic now because Sanchez earns way too much. That's the problem, Keston. That's another issue that's not related to his quality once again. But 7.5 million for a very injury-prone 32-year-old is not good. It's not a good investment. If he's able to kind of, and of course this is not it's not my money, and I don't want to say to Sanchez you should half your salary, but to stay on at his age for what his injury record is, he probably would have to half his salary, to be honest. But yeah, I don't really see it, and it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I don't think we should renew, especially if he's going to ask for big money. Yeah, Satriano did get 20 minutes. And yeah, I'll keep saying the January window, there's not going to much happening, guys. I know everyone likes to talk about transfer market, but it depends on if someone moves out. We talked about maybe Sanchez, if they cancel his contract, if they release him, which doubt now is going to happen. But that would have opened up that slot with having a lot of wage slot to spend on. Or if you manage to get someone like Vecino, rid of Vecino in the January window, that opens up a slot. It's more of it depends on who leaves, or if you can get someone on a loan like Enahita Hernandez, who didn't play today for Cagliari, funnily enough. But I think he's probably the number one candidate. I don't see us being able to get a Scamacca or someone like a Belotti like in January. It's just not going to happen. These teams are not going to let these guys leave in January. But I still think, yeah, like a proper, in my opinion, the proper Dzeko backup, a proper, big number 9 is the type of profile that we still need. We still need a proper vice Brozovic, someone that can give Brozovic a rest from the beginning, not like how Barella gives him a rest here and there. But it's gonna take someone leaving, I think, for something to happen in January. Hey, my guy Binveto in the house. Congrats to you, bro. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful football. Pazzo is back on Twitter. The league is confirmed. Hey, nice to see. The guy's been missing on Twitter for a while. Good morning from Jakarta. Hey, I like it. I like it, Kamal. Good morning to you, wherever you are in the world, especially if you are it's late, well, early morning for people up in Jakarta, or if it's in the evening or afternoon for you. Thank you for tuning in here. 92 people. Wow, wonderful, great numbers here. Inzaghi added a turbo to a slightly smaller engine. I like that. I like that analogy. Because with when the cars, the turbo just gives you that extra, you know, on paper it says, it has 105 horsepower, but that turbo just is able to just take it up a notch in some cases. When you're on the open road, that turbo just hits. And today Inzaghi's team, in Serie A in general, definitely hit the turbo recently. Yeah, I don't want to hear and say any fans saying our team is deep. Yeah, exactly. You were slandering us all the time before, and now you're going to say that this team, that you guys should be walking this league. Like, yeah, only renew Alexis when his contract is up if he's willing to take veteran wage. Exactly, like how D'Ambrosio did, or how Kolarov did, or how Ranocchia did, where they half their salaries to be able to stay on it. Into then it could make sense, but again, that's still quite expensive. Well, actually, it's not too expensive, like 3.5 million, 3 million for Sanchez. Then it's quite acceptable. But again, it's the injury issues with Sanchez. It's just, and as he gets older, is he really going to be more reliable? I don't know. Cagliari for president was 30 million euro for Fernandez. I know it's crazy. Like, these guys are holding him for ransom. I feel bad for Fernandez because he was promised a move as well. But I think the more time goes on, the more power Inter get, because now he's going to be pushing for the move even more. And they're probably going to need money if they once again looking at relegation, if they actually get relegated as well by the end of the season. But at the same time, the guy's been now playing at Cagliari for a few years. It's kind of stunted his growth. Like, do we really, really want Nandes that badly? I still like Nandes for sure, but do we really, really want Nandes that badly? Perfect response by Barella. Yeah, my boy Snajef, of course. We slandered him quite rightly. Like, every player once here and there deserves some critique, some slander, but it's never. We're not saying that Barella's the stinkiest player now all of a sudden. But today he definitely proved his quality. Beautiful assist. Probably deserved the goal. He had a couple of nice shots. It looked like he was on a mission to score. It looked like, you remember the Udinese game where he had I think he had 6 or 7 shots that game. Today I think he had about 4 or 5, but it looked like he was on a mission to score, but it didn't quite happen for him. But it's really good to see Barella back at his old levels. And yeah, maybe I don't even know if he should start in the next match against the Salernitana, but maybe just starts him to stat pad some more assists, and Hakan as well. Let's keep stat padding these guys so we can eat the Milanisti and the Juventini tears. So other fans think Gagliardini have seen the good squad players for team challenging. Yeah, exactly, bro. They at the same time they'll be bantering us about our players, and then at the same time, like, they'll be. It's just a funny place, social media. Inzaghi blessed with our solid defenses. One of Lazio's problem in his era is his defenses. Yeah, man. Like, you're seeing Lazio. I read a stat earlier today that this is the most goals they've conceded in a Serie A campaign, like, compared to any of their seasons in Serie A. I'm not sure if that's after 1960 or something, but still, it's a massive, massive stat that shows someone like Sarri coming in. I know he's usually obviously has a higher line, different, plays 4 at the back, not 3 at the back, so there's change for them. But that what Inzaghi had to work with, the material that Inzaghi worked with, the ingredients, as you would say, in the kitchen that Inzaghi had to cook with, just weren't good at Lazio. And when you look back and now you see how much Sarri is struggling, they probably appreciate Inzaghi's work even more, what he'd managed to do. At some points, he played Marco Parolo as centre back. Like, he's not even a centre back at all. Like, putting a centre mid as centre back just because they had no depth. Patrick, absolute calamity of a player. Musacchio was the guy they learned to save their season, who was absolutely awful. Yeah, as Indrari says, Muzaki or Patrick to D'Ambrosio Ranocchia, like the upgrade even in the backups is crazy. So Inzaghi is really showing, time sometimes is a better, judge than you think, because Lazio fans probably think like, oh yeah, Inzaghi did well, but maybe we could do better. But now you see that probably Inzaghi really got the best possible. He squeezed everything out of that squad that he possibly could, even almost challenging for a title. Let's not forget, at one point, almost challenging for the Scudetto at one point. That Lautaro goal was quite amazing. He keeps scoring from the hardest chances, but missed the easiest. Yeah, two nice goals today, Lautaro. I have to say, the first one, the header. Again, the guy is so underrated with his heading. Like, for his height, he's one of the best in Europe when it comes to heading. And then that control and the finish on the volley as well. Yeah, beautiful, two beautiful goals. But then they had chances in of course, the penalty. But there was another chance on his left foot that he also scuffed. Like, it's just interesting. Sharma, who is a better fit for Inter, Scamacca or Vlahovic? Ooh, well, a better fit. Well, the better player for me is Vlahovic for sure. And if you could follow me on Twitter, you'll know the answer to that one was easy for me. But better fit for Inter, again, Vlahovic, because I like and I picked Vlahovic, as my post Lukaku as well at the end of the summer, because I said he's left-footed. I like that dynamic of having that guy. You're having a right footer and a left footer up front. It gives you different angles to hit. And Vlahovic offers the same that Scamacca offers in terms of back to goal play. Scamacca's a little bit taller, probably knows how to use his body a bit better than Vlahovic, who's also bulked up over the last year or so. But Vlahovic offers you extra in terms of like free kick taking ability. And he's also, I think the big thing about Vlahovic is the mentality. He's ready for a big team already at his age. With Scamacca, I don't know. I really like Scamacca, by the way. And I do hope that Inter go for him. But if you read about Vlahovic, that he's a gym rat, he stays behind in training. He's like obsessed with trying to score more. He watches a lot of football just to see where he can improve. Like, he's got that obsession that, some of the top players have already at his age. And for me, that's for that reason he's going to go right to the very top. So for me, Vlahovic. But I'm not saying that, Inter shouldn't go for Scamacca. I'm just answering the question there. Can't believe Mourinho slandering us this much. What's he saying now? I saw that he was kind of praising us, or like, covering his own back, really. He was saying that, oh, I wish I had Correa, Dumfries, and all Vidal on the bench to bring on. I want to say he was slandering. If you're talking about that, I would say that he's kind of covering his own back there, saying that, oh, don't expect too much from me. I have a bad bench. Karim says he's late for the stream. Yeah, I think I gave my man the match to Barella, but I wouldn't say no to any of Hakan, Lautaro, even Dumfries. Like, it was just one of those performances all around. I wouldn't disagree with you if you said someone else than me to be man of the match. Lautaro slandering, I'm seeing on social media, needs to stop. So happy we have him. He loves the club. Yeah, man. Like, I think sometimes people can be a bit too harsh. Like, again, now he's got what, 10 goals now in the league. Let me see quickly the stats. Like, it's funny with Lautaro, like it seems like he's having a bad season, but he's right up there when it comes to goals scored, sorry. So look, I think these stats have not been updated, or they have, I think. Yeah, he's 10. He's number 4 in the league. He's overtaken Dzeko now, and obviously, yeah, he's got the penalties as well. But it's funny with Lautaro. He's not having the best season. I can't lie there, but the slander is a little bit too much. Vlahovic, Lautaro. Yeah, I would love that left-footed, right-footed combo for sure. But also Scamacca Lautaro sounds very juicy to me as well. I need Vlahovic always sacrifice the fry for him. Yeah, I think we would need to sacrifice a lot more than just the fry to get Vlahovic. Unfortunately, we need some more magic from Marotta, not just the fry. I think we'd have to sell some, as Indra says, some organs. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that post-match reaction. Inter 4, Cagliari 0. Top of the league, La Capolista se ne va. Enjoy first place. It feels nice to be back on top. And yeah, of course, you guys, you'll see me for the Salernitana preview. And tomorrow, as I keep saying, UCL draw. Let's see who we get. I'm not scared of anyone, but hopefully, fingers crossed, Lille, or if not, Ajax. But I'll take Man United. I'll take Man City. I'll take Liverpool. Whoever you give me, I'll take them. But let's see, exciting times. And yeah, Lautaro 0 goals in the Champions League knockouts, but hopefully he explodes in the knockout phases. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. 94 people. Make sure you guys are leaving a thumbs up down below, please. Come on, guys, let's leave a thumbs up down below. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I always try to keep people updated with what's going on in the world of Inter. And yeah, ciao ragazzi. Oh yeah, do you guys like the new top, the new jacket, the new Inter pre warm-up jacket? Quite wavy with the new logo. I like it. But yeah, ciao ragazzi, forza Inter.